God said the tribe of Judah is in mourning. These people will be in mourning. Them so-called Jewish people over there, are they in mourning? Don't they, wait a minute, don't they own the record labels? Don't they own the basketball teams? Don't they own the foot? Bro, I would not be in mourning if I'm a football owner. No, sir. I'm good. But the Bible said Judah will be in mourning in the last days.
It says grass, right? Grass is what color?
Oh, yeah.
I'm just asking.
That's it. So what you just said is, right now what you're doing, you're confessing that you've been lied to, and now you understand the truth. That's what it is, right? So what we doing, we just proving to you more. Right, so you know the color of Christ. So guess what? The Bible, Jeremiah 14:2. We know the color of Christ. So what is the color of the people of the book? What color are they? Because we see the movie of Moses, the Israelites. What color they portray them on the TV?
Yeah, they portray it white.
White! White, just like they did with Christ. But you just read the true image of Christ, that he wasn't a white man with blue eyes. He was a black man with red eyes. So what about his people? His people, first of all, let me show you who his people are, right? Come on in, come over here. Over here is the 12 tribes of Israel. Israel, do you know who Israel is? Who is Israel? Israel was a man called Jacob. You ever heard of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? Jacob's name got changed to Israel. So that's a man, right? That's it. So Israel is a man before it was a land.
Right.
The land over there in Israel, the people over there are not the Israelites. How do we know that? We're going to show you. But the Israelites are the 12 tribes, and the 12 sons of Israel, of Jacob. He had 12 sons, right? Today, one of his sons called Judah. But the people that come from his son called Judah is being called what? African Americans. So on this side, what do you follow on this side? Are you do they call you African American, West Indies, Haitian, Puerto Rican? What do they call you? They call you African American. So according to the Bible, what tribe God say you come from? Tribe of Judah. Say that thing again, bro. Judah. That's right. That's right. Now, let's prove it. Let's prove it. Now we're going to go through the Bible just like we did with Christ, and we're going to show you what color is the tribe of Judah. What color are those people, all right? Let's see. Let's see. Because what color are you?
I'm black.
You're black, right? Let's see what the Bible says Judah is, right? Read it.
Jeremiah chapter 14 and verse 2. Judah mourning.
He said Judah, he's talking about Judah, right? The tribe of Judah. He said they are in mourning. When you think about it, so-called African American men, we are in mourning. Why? Because we get oppressed every day of the week. We work sun up to sundown. Some of us can't even take care of our families. Our wives turn their back on us. We get locked up in alarming rates, bro. The prison house is full with so-called African Americans, right? We get oppressed as a people, right? Read.
Judah mourning, and the gates thereof languish.
So the Bible said Judah is in mourning, and the gates are in languish, meaning what? The gates is going into their leaders. The leaders of the Judites are in language, meaning they're weak. They're weak. Our so-called leaders are weak. T.D. Jakes, Al Sharpton, they can't do a damn thing for us, man. Right. That's who we go to get protection. But what they tell us to do? Vote. They tell us to march around the city. That's the only thing they can tell us to do for our protection or for a solution. But God, that's why God said, Judah what?
Judah mourning.
Judah is in mourning. Read.
And the gates thereof languish.
And the leaders of this people are weak. They have no mental power. Read.
They are black.
Wait a minute. What?
They are black.
What did the Bible say Judah, what color Judah was? Say it again.
They are black.
What color you say you was? What color the Judites?
They are black.
What color the Judites? You are black. Judah is a black. So guess what? Who are those people over there saying they're Jews? Because that's what Jews derive from. The word Jew derives from the word Judah. Judah, Jews. So you got people over there saying they're the Jews. Are they black? What color are the people over there saying they're Jews? What color are they? The ones over there doing the bar mitzvah with the hats with the curly hair down. What color are folks here? Are they black? What color are they? Are they in mourning? They party. They rule everything, right?
I'm a good
Revelation. Huh? What color are they? Let me ask you, bro. What's your name? You say what now? Cam, my name is Azariah. So you heard about the Israelites, right? The Jewish people, right? The white folks, the folks over there in Israel. What color are they?
White.
They're white. So they call themselves Jews, right? So what do you think? If they say they're Jews and they're white, should the Bible say the Jews are white also? So what do you think the Bible said the Jews are? Let's read it. Let's read it. Let's prove. The Bible said prove all things. Because why? The Jews are being called today what? African Americans. The Jews are walking around not knowing they are the Israelites according to the Bible. Nor do they give a damn. The Jews today is in the ghettos. The Jews today is in language. They don't know who they are. So they need to know who they are according to the Bible. You gotta know that you're special to God. That you're not a nigger. That you're not actually black. You're a prince that has power. You have power with God. But the Jews don't know that today. Because how I know that? I'm looking at 2 Jews right now that don't know who they are. That's how I know. Now we're going to read the color of the Jews. What you say your name was again? Cam. Big word Cam. I'm about to say, hold that Revelation. Let's go back to Jeremiah. Watch this. You're about to see the same thing you see. Alright? What you're seeing right now is the awakening of God's people. This type of gospel has not been preached to God's people. But God said the time is now for his people to wake up to the knowledge of who they are. Alright, read.
Jeremiah, chapter 14, verse 2. Judah mourning.
God said the tribe of Judah is in mourning. These people will be in mourning. Them so-called Jewish people over there, are they in mourning? Don't they, wait a minute, don't they own the record labels? Don't they own the basketball teams? Don't they own the foot? Bro, I would not be in mourning if I'm a football owner. No, sir. I'm good. They are not in mourning. Read. He said, but the Bible said Judah will be in mourning in the last days. Read.
Judah mourning, and the gates thereof labor.
God also said Judah leaders, the people that go out and lead Judah, they are weak. They are weak. Let me ask you a question. Who is the black man leader? So we know the white man leader is Donald Trump or some kind of political person with money, Elon Musk. That's who they go to for understanding, for wisdom and guidance. That's their leader. Who is, like the Arab, they had a leader, right? Osama bin Laden. That was their leader. He was for their people, and he stood up for their people and gave them understanding and leadership. Now, the so-called black man, who is the black man leader?
Yep.
I'm gonna start with you, you're a little older. Because you've been around a little bit now. Today.
Well, hey, I'm stuck on that.
Okay, what about you, bro? Who do we go to for leadership or understanding about what's going on in our communities? How to get out of these situations? Who do we go to? I got something for you. Who do our kids look up to? Boom! There you go. Rappers and who? Athletes. Rappers and athletes is our leaders, but with the other nations, political, powerful men are their leaders. Y'all see the difference with that? Big brother.
Here's a question too.
Big brother. What's your name?
Why, Dick? Why do they look up?
You say what else?
Dick?
Nick?
Yeah.
And your name?
Yeah.
And your name?
Yeah.
And you had a question, right? You said
Why
what?
do they look up?
So my brother right here, Nick, my brother asked, he said, okay, because I gave this, I'm going to ask you a question. Who is the black race leader?
So funny.
All right? Who is our leader? Who do we go to when we have issues with the other nations? Who is our spokesman that lead us out of our situations? Who is that? Because, you know, the Arabs had Osama bin Laden. You had the so-called white people got what? The presidents of the United States. Who do we have to tell us, to show us, to get us out of these conditions? Who's leading us against the other nations? Telling them, hey, we're not Negroes, we're God's chosen people. Who is leading the black man today? Who's our leaders? How old are you?
41.
You 41, so you born 83, 84? 84. So you were out my hands. All our leaders been what? rappers and athletes. You rarely have a black man that look up to a writer, a political person. In school, you'll be a lame, right? You gotta look up to either somebody that's backing women, you know what I'm saying? Somebody either selling dope, somebody with power that oppress their own people. That's the leaders of our people. Dope boys, basketball players, and rappers. How do we know that? What majority of our kids do? They want to be ball players, they want to rap, and they want to be dope boys. You know why? Because the leaders of our people are that. Right. That's what that is. Right. So you had a question. Why is that? Why do y'all think that's so?
That's what they seeing now. They always on the phone.
That's where the money is.
That's where the money is? Okay, so let me ask you a question. Don't we supposed to go to the Christian church for guidance, spiritual guidance from God, for the reasons of what we're going through? So the pastor should be leading us, telling us how to spiritually get out of these conditions, right? Let me show y'all what God said about the pastors that's leading his people. Give me Ezekiel 22 and 26. Now, I know y'all heard the term false prophets and true prophets, right? How can y'all determine who's a false prophet and who's a true prophet? Because prophets is leaders. Nick, what is a false prophet? What would they do to you? A prophet do what? What do a prophet do? They prophesize, right? And they tell you what's to come, and they tell you about situations, right? So a false prophet will do what? Give you a false prophecy and lead you falsely. Let's see what God said a false prophet is, okay? Read it.
Ezekiel, chapter 22, verse 26.
Now, Nick, listen up, because I didn't tell you. This Bible is your history book. Right. You an Israelite according to the Bible. Right. Your whole history is here. You don't have to go nowhere else. You don't have to go to the white man. You don't have to go to the internet unless you read about your people. This is what the Bible speaks about, and I'm going to prove it to you. I agree.
Her priests have violated my law.
God said the priests of today have violated his law. Do y'all know what violated means? What violated means? When you violate your parole, what that means?
You messed up. You
fucked up. But what that really means when you violate your parole? You went against what they told you to do, right? So God said the pastors of today have done what?
Her priests have violated my law.
God said the priests or the pastors of today violate or go against God's commandments and his laws. How we know that to be true? Which one of y'all grew up in Christianity? Which church? All y'all in the church, right? Let me ask y'all a question. When is the Lord's Sabbath day?
bring it up.
When is the Sabbath day? Have y'all heard the Sabbath day?
Saturday, Sunday was good Saturday.
Huh?
Saturday, Sunday was good.
Whoa. You said they did what?
Sunday.
They told you something. Read that again.
Her priests have violated my law.
That's what the Bible just said. They lied to you about God's laws. Right. One of God's laws was what? Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. But guess what? The priest didn't teach you that, so guess what you're doing? You're breaking and defiling God's high holy day right now. And you don't even know it. Why? Because read it again.
Her priests have violated my law.
Read.
And have profaned mine holy things.
Read.
They have put no difference between the holy and profane.
That's why y'all don't understand what's holy and what's profane. When you go in that store on a Saturday and buy something, you're profaning God's Sabbath day and you don't have no understanding behind that. Y'all have no understanding behind that. Hold that. No, we're going to finish that. Finish it out. Read.
Neither have they shewed difference between the unclean.
Listen up. They have done what?
Neither have they shown difference between the unclean and the clean, and have hid their eyes.
They have done what?
Hid their eyes.
From what?
From my Sabbath.
See that? That's why you don't know when the Sabbath day is, because the false prophets that been teaching y'all in Christianity have hid his eyes from God's Sabbath day. In Exodus 20 and 8. Today is God's Sabbath day. So let me ask y'all, like you just said, they did what now? They tricked you. What about you? When is God's Sabbath day? Because you may think, man, this is another day. God's day don't matter. I got my days every day. The white man give me my day when I get off work. That's my day. You may be thinking that. I don't know. But guess what? It's a punishment for everything. It's a gain to every gain that we do. Meaning what? It's a consequence to every action.
Right.
With God, if we as Israelites break His commandments, He do this. He do this to us. Nobody else. What am I looking at, Nick? What are you looking at right now? Huh? Slave ships. Slave ships. Do y'all know? Oh, you know about those slave ships? I know y'all don't see roots and things of that nature, right? How bad were those slave ships, bro? Think about being compacted on a slave ship when your wife pregnant, when you got a little child, your child getting whooped, your wife having her period on somebody else. This is what our people went through. Why? Because we broke God's Sabbath day. We broke God's Sabbath day. So guess what? How do we carry this condition? How do we get out of this oppression? Nick, do you think the so-called African American, Hispanics, and Native Americans are being oppressed? Give me Ezekiel 22 and verse 29. You said no. No, give me Isaiah 65:15. I ain't gonna go like, yeah, give me Isaiah 65:15. So you said no, right? All right. What about you? Do you think the black man is being oppressed today? You say yes. What about you? Okay. Now Nick, I'm gonna deal with you, and then matter of fact, Nick, you can't leave. I gotta show you this because guess what? You got kids. So guess what? I'm showing you that you've been lied to, right? So you believe a lie. Guess what you gonna teach your kids? A lie. Well, if you love your kids, will you tell them a lie? Will you teach them a lie? So guess what you're doing when you run away from the truth? You're showing hatred towards yourself and your kids. You've been a disservice for yourself and your kids. You know why? This is your God. This is your God right here. Because if you didn't think, guess what? They're going to sign your neck right there. That's what you're showing that who you have. You might not know this. That cross represents this white man. Yes. That cross represents, that's why what we're saying to you, we're speaking the real spirit of Christ right now. But it's not resonating because this is in your spirit. This is the devil according to the Bible. This is the devil according to the Bible. That's why we got to wake our people out of this darkness that he taught.
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children